what if I told you that suffering isn't your enemy, that the very pain you've been running from holds the keys to your transformation? Carl Jung once said, "No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell." Sit with that. Let it sink in, because by the end of this video, you will understand something most people never realize their whole lives. How to never suffer the same way again. Suffering. We all go through it. Breakups, failures, rejection, loss, shame, anxiety, depression. Most people try to escape it, bury it under distraction, blame, denial. But what if you looked at it straight in the eyes? Carl Jung believed that our pain isn't random. It's a message. It's your unconscious trying to speak. And when you ignore it, suppress it, or numb it, it grows stronger, controls you from the shadows. But when you listen, it guides you. And here's the truth. You don't heal by avoiding the darkness. You heal by walking into it with your eyes wide open. Let's get one thing straight. Suffering isn't optional, but staying in it is. Carl Jung discovered something radical. Every human being has a shadow, not just the villain, not just the broken. You, me, everyone. The shadow is the part of you that you pretend isn't there. The anger you suppress, the sadness you avoid, the guilt you deny, the fear you laugh off. But the longer you ignore it, the louder it screams, until it breaks you. But here's the flip, the real gold Jung gave us. The shadow, when integrated, becomes your source of power. That means the very parts of you that you're ashamed of, the wounds you hide, the rage, the trauma, the insecurities, they are not your weakness. They're untapped strength waiting to be embraced. Jung didn't say run from the shadow. He said, integrate it. You don't fight the darkness by pushing it away, you befriend it. You understand it. You accept it. Because that's how you transcend it. You want to stop suffering? Then stop pretending you're not hurting. Face it. Ask, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because within every wound is wisdom. Every heartbreak reveals what you truly value. Every failure shows where you haven't grown yet. Every anxiety exposes the inner lie you're believing. That's not punishment. That's guidance. There's a quiet revolution that happens when you stop escaping your darkness. You start owning your story. You start seeing yourself not as a victim, but as a creator of your life. That shame you've been carrying is not yours to hold forever. That anger you've been suppressing, it has a voice, it wants boundaries, not chaos. That fear you feel, it's a signal. It wants you to grow, not shrink. Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Read that again. How many of your failures were actually unconscious patterns? How many relationships ended not because of fate, but because of wounds left unhealed? How much of your anxiety is your soul screaming, there's something you haven't faced yet? Here's the truth nobody told you growing up. You can't become whole by pretending to be only good. You become whole by being real, by feeling the pain, by listening to your sadness, by owning your past, by forgiving yourself, by daring to be fully you, shadow and all. Because when you do that, you stop suffering, not because pain disappears, but because it no longer controls you. It becomes your ally. This is why people stay stuck for years. They don't suffer because they're weak. They suffer because they're unwilling to look inward. They'd rather change their job, partner, location, body, anything but their mind. But suffering ends when you start asking, what belief is holding me back? What truth am I refusing to see? What part of me have I abandoned? Because that's where transformation begins. In the honest questions, in the still moments, in the mirror. Let me say this directly to you. You're not broken. You're not too far gone. You're not weak for struggling. You're human. And the fact that you're watching this means you're already on the path. You're already listening to the call that most people ignore their whole lives. The call to heal. The call to evolve. The call to integrate. Carl Jung didn't want you to be perfect. He wanted you to be whole. And that means embracing both your light and your darkness. So here's the final truth. You will suffer again. unless you choose to suffer consciously. And when you do, that suffering becomes a teacher, a companion, compass, and you become unstoppable. Because nothing can shake a person who has looked at their darkness and said, I see you, I accept you, I choose to grow with you. You want to stop suffering like before? Then start seeing like never before. Not with your eyes, with your soul. And if this message found you at the right moment, it's not an accident. Carl Jung believed in synchronicity, the idea that meaningful coincidences guide us to our truth. So maybe this video is your sign. Now imagine what would happen if more people saw the world this way. If they realized suffering isn't a curse, it's a doorway. If they finally understood that true power lies not in perfection, but in integration. Help them see it. Like this video if it spoke to something deep inside you. Comment below the shadow you're choosing to embrace. And subscribe because the journey doesn't end here. There's so much more awakening to come. You're not alone. Not anymore.